Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to roll a coil. I am starting with a piece of clay that I am compressing in my hands, and then I'm going to start rolling it on the desk or the flat surface. So what you want to do is you're moving your hand back and forth from the base of your palm to the tip of your fingers, letting that clay roll beneath your hand. So I kind of only bring the clay up to the mid knuckle area. That's just the way I roll coils. It's not necessarily the perfect way to do it, but that's the way I do it. So you can see right here, a full revolution. You want it to make one full revolution. The reason why that's important is because if you're not doing that, your coil might become a little bit uneven. If you're only doing a half revolution, it's going to be a little squared off, a little rectangle. One side's going to be way longer. So you can see me putting it all together. I'm moving my hands up and down the length of that coil, back and forth, up and down kind of thing. Okay, so grabbed a piece of clay, compressing in my hands. This is just to get rid of all air bubbles. You don't really need to wedge out this clay. You're going to be aiming for about a pinky size, which is about a 1/2 inch in thickness. So you compressed it, one full revolution underneath your hand. The main and most important thing, along with having that one revolution, so I guess there's 2 total, is the pressure that you apply. You don't want to be applying too much pressure when you're rolling these coils. The lighter the pressure, the more even it's going to be. So as long as you're making that one full revolution and you're applying nice and even pressure, that's a little bit, I would say, on the lighter side. Lighter than heavier is way better, because if you're doing heavy pressure, there's bound to be some unevenness in that coil. So the end result, you're testing the thickness. My pinky's about a 1/2 inch in thickness, so that's really what I aim for there. Depending on what you might be going for, that might be a little bit too thick. We want to be keeping our clay from anywhere from a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch. So another thing you want to be looking at for in the end result, or doing, I guess, in the end result, is I like to wet my clay down, let it really soak up the water. So I'm just really lathering it, making sure all sides of that coil are covered in water. And then I'll just let it sit and soak up that water for a second before I really use it. This is just to help prevent from any cracking, to make sure the clay is really set up for any kind of positioning that I need to put it in. So here's some troubleshooting things that you might run into. So a flat coil, you have one side that's longer than the other, you see right there. I put the longer side kind of facing up, so the flatter side, see there, okay, long side. And then I use my hand and I kind of just square off that coil. So before it was more of a rectangle shape, or the 3D form of a rectangle. You want to go for that more square shaped when you're getting that coil. So, and then from there I just kind of roll it out. But you have that longer edge. I just kind of focus that longer edge. I can press it down to more of an evenness, and then I just roll it out. So watch one more time, just kind of focusing some pressure right there. And then I'm rolling out that coil. There's really no perfect way to do this. This is just the way that I do it personally. So that's how I deal with flattened coils. Another issue that you might run into that we've already kind of seen is the cracking. So you can kind of wipe it down with your fingers like I showed you there, or you can cover it up with water. I prefer to do a little bit of both. You can see right here, there's actually quite a bit of cracking on this coil. I don't know if I would necessarily use that. If I did, I'd want to make sure that I was using a lot of slip and really making sure that those cracks were nice and okay. But yeah, just wetting down that coil is another thing to help with cracking. Wetting it down and wiping it and smoothing that out. So now putting it all together, time for you guys to try it. So again, we're going for that 1/2 inch coil. Some cracking is okay, guys. It's not going to be the end of the world, especially if it's for clay construction. You're going to probably be blending out those coils anyway. If it was decorative, I would definitely spend some time smoothing out those cracks. But okay, so starting from the top, you're compressing it in your hand. You don't have to wedge out that tiny, tiny piece of clay. I just like to compress it. It's an extra precautionary step. And then you're just rolling it underneath your hands. 1 full revolution, light pressure. Okay, that's the surface area that I use personally. But just the light pressure, and you're making sure there's 1 full revolution. I like to use 2 hands. It gives me a little bit more stabilization. It stabilizes me a little bit more, I guess. But yeah, it's just all about finding your niche. There's really no perfect way to do it. I'm trying to give you guys as much information so you're really set up for success here. But like I said, there's only so much I could tell you. You guys just kind of have to get out there and go for it and kind of roll with the punches and see how you need to react or act with the clay. So yeah. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope your coils come out nice and perfect and even. But yeah, good luck.